You know that there's a hurricane, like literally almost right outside the window a little bit. So sorry if you hear some noise. But, you know, sometimes you just can't wait. Pink Floyd, can't wait. What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin, and today, I finally have my album review for Pink Floyd's Meddle ready for you guys. It took me a while, I'm sorry for the wait, but I finally have all my thoughts gathered, have everything that I wanted to say, ready to go, finally ready to bring it to you, hot off the plates, hot out of the oven, and into your lap. Well, I guess on your plate, not on your lap. You probably don't want it on your lap. This has actually taken a long time because there were a lot of thoughts that I had to gather specifically for this album. There were a lot of feelings involved in this album. Some good, some not as good, but we're gonna talk our way through it. Of course, I'll let you guys know my favorite lyrics in the album, my favorite songs and my song rankings in the album, as well as my favorite moments as well. So let's talk about Pink Floyd's Meddle, which has a lot of interesting moments, a lot of moments that would show you where they would go further in their career and in their discography. The album opens with actually one of my favorite songs on the album, One of These Days. I love the way that the bass just reverberates and echoes within the walls of the song as it opens up. And as the bass itself is building up, you hear the organ and the guitar and you hear dissonant sounds, and they kind of just bounce around in the space that they've created. I especially like the percussion. The kind of jump scare sound effects of like knocking the drums, bum, 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 bum. It comes in so out of nowhere that it's like a nice shock. Like, you know how like you don't like to be scared and yet we watch horror movies because we like to be scared? It's kind of like that to me. Like, it really does come out of nowhere. It's such a jarring sound that kind of changes the mood and the atmosphere of what it's building up to before that. And then the song just erupts into this earworm of a jam. Listen, I don't know how you could not feel something listening to that when it just gets into it. The guitar, the organ, they're just ripping this song to shreds. Listen to how they scream out, the organ whips out, the guitar, wow, wow. I mean, it's really a great opening, yes, but it's also a really good song actually on its own right. I think that the build-up in it is perfect. I think that what comes out of it is perfect. I think it's a really enjoyable song. I really like everything about that, especially on the Echoes version, where we're just watching Mason drumming. I love it. He loses his stick at one point, but you know what? He doesn't lose his groove or his cool. This song perfectly leads into the following, which is A Pillow of Winds, which I actually feel that these two songs are near inseparable. I think that the build-up, the explosion, and then this resounding echo in A Pillow of Winds is a perfect set of songs that really complement each other and match each other with what they're trying to do. Whereas One of These Days was this big powerhouse of a song, especially in the ending, A Pillow of Winds is a little bit of a step back, it's a little bit of a breather. It's instead of tension, it relaxes itself into relaxation. The stress becomes unstress and relief. We're greeted and welcomed into this song by very gentle guitar work from Gilmour. We have a nice even layer of organ in the back as well, providing a nice ambience. And of course the singing, which is fantastic. It just floats and melts into this track. And I really do have to give kudos to the mixing and the production, because it really allows the focus to not necessarily be on the individual instruments. It allows the focus to be on the feeling of the music, which, from what I can gather listening to Pink Floyd, is really the focus of their music. It's not necessarily what instrument is doing what, it's really how every instrument comes together and complements each other. And of course, we later on get the slide guitar by Gilmour, bringing a very easygoing relaxation tone into the song, which I feel also hints towards what they would do later on in the album in songs like Saint-Tropez. After this, the pace picks up just a little bit more, not as much as One of These Days, but just a little bit more as we move into Fearless. Fearless has a very memorable riff. It includes some chanting from Rodgers and Hammerstein's You'll Never Walk Alone, which is interesting to bring into the song because it kind of flows in and out, especially near the beginnings and the endings of the song, and it does match. Pink Floyd makes it work. The singing is very soft-spoken and very relaxed. The lyrics, I actually feel, are probably some of the best lyrics on the album. They're very inspirational, they're very motivating. I feel like they're the type of lyrics to, like, if you listen to it, you're ready to get up and take on the world, which kind of goes towards the message of the song, fearless, being fearless in the face of adversity, not letting any mountain be too high for you to climb. I will admit, I'm not a huge Fearless fan. I personally think that the song is just a little boring and it's not really, I don't know, it just doesn't, I can hear like it's good, but it just doesn't connect with me the same way that some of the other songs on the album are. But like I said, even though the music itself doesn't connect with me as much, I do take a strong liking towards the lyrics and the message of the song. And then from Fearless we transition into Saint-Tropez, which is a totally different type of song. It's totally different from the song before. This is definitely a vacation song. It has a lot of playful lyricism, some really fun songwriting as well, and I love the internal rhyming that goes on because it really adds to the cadence, the natural cadence of the song, in which it is very frolicking and fun and just joyful and bouncy. The way that they composed the playfulness and the positivity in this song, I thought was very smartly done. I think that it features some of the best actual writing on the album. This is meant to be easygoing, it's made to feel good. It's like a vacation, it's like being on a cruise ship. Is it meant to be some meaningful vacation where you're learning about this and going to the museums and studying the history of a country? It may be, but typically when you're on a cruise, you just want to go to the buffet and sleep in a little bit. But once again, the slide guitar features here, which adds perfectly to this tropical nature of the song. And it ends with this very straight played, kind of jazzy piano solo. There's no embellishing on it. It's a very simple solo, but for the song, it really does work. And that's another thing that I appreciate about Pink Floyd. If they embellish, it's not necessarily through the technicality of their instruments or their musicality. It really comes across more in their feelings, which is one of the reasons I think a lot of people can connect with them. I think they have enough depth for someone who's into deeper types of music to gather that feeling, but I also think that they're catchy enough, they're fun enough, they're bouncy enough for general audiences to also be accepting of them and also enjoy them, which is, I think, a great formula for success, and it's clearly worked out for them. And then we get to Seamus, which, here's the thing. I know you guys are waiting for me to talk about Seamus. I just don't see its place on the album, I guess. Maybe it's me. It could be me. I just don't understand it. It's a very simple blues song. Fine. You got the dog sound effects, which on their own don't bother me. It's just kind of like in the song. It's a very basic blues song. There's nothing, like literally nothing of interest in it for me. So I don't know why I would listen to this song. Even if I was listening to the album, yes, it's short enough that I won't necessarily get up and skip it, but I'm sitting there like just waiting for it to get over, you know? I'm just waiting for this dog to go to sleep so we can listen to the next song on the album, which is the main attraction. From the very first ping in Echoes, I'm ready. I'm in, okay? 20 minutes or whatever, I'm in. It doesn't matter. This is the best song on the album, easily. This is the most progressive and impressive song on the album. And this is really the song that I would come back to every single day. Well, maybe every week. And if you want the details on what I think of the song, go check out the first listen of Echoes, because I kind of captured my thoughts in that video, and it's actually kind of the same thoughts I have now in this video. What I find especially impressive is just the way that the song moves. I think when you guys listen to it as well, you'll find how effortlessly this song builds up. It evolves so naturally. It transitions from piece to piece so easily. Every transition in this song is really amazingly done, carried out by talented musicians. They're all working towards the same goal. And this song has such a journey into it. I feel that this is almost more of an experience, more so than a song. But that shows just how creative they were. How creative they were in building this monstrosity. And I mean that in the best way possible. This monstrosity, this giant of progressive rock that still sounds just as impactful today. And listening to Echoes, I feel that this song accomplishes a lot of what they were perhaps hinting at in their other songs on this album. The passionate guitar work, the sharp cuts of the organ as it comes in. We have to talk, at least mention, the middle ambient section, that whole instrumental break, which is just, it's actually, to me, a perfect piece of music. I actually think that Echoes in its own is a perfect piece of music, but if we can like divide it just a little bit, I think that the ambient section in Echoes is even, it's brilliant to me. The way that they create these sound effects, the way that they take them from dissonance into harmony and melody, the way that they take it from the abstract into something tangible and real, the way that they connect everything is just so perfectly done, so well written, so well composed, that I'm impressed by it every single time that I listen to it. And speaking of the transitions, the way that they bring us back from dissonance into reality, it's listen for the moment that it changes, because it's such an amazing moment, the way that they captured that. Slowly we're returned to Earth from whatever distant plane that we were taken to. You guys could have been taken to space. When I talked about it in the other video, I talked about being in the ocean, being underwater, because that's what I felt. But either way, I think you guys will admit you're transported somewhere completely different listening to that song, listening to that section, but then slowly they bring you right back. It's like good meditation. And this song also has very strong lyrics, very strong writing, talking about connection, the past, the present, the future, how all things come together. Despite distances, despite time, we can all relate in some capacity. I don't know why I had my headphones on. So let's talk about some of my favorite things in the lyrics. Let's talk a little Coltrane right now, okay? My favorite lyrics in the album, I got my paper right here because I need to, need to read it. My favorite lyrics in the album, had to think about it. It was either going to be from Echoes or it was going to be from what I chose. My favorite lyrics are actually from Fearless, in which he says, "And I will climb that hill in my own way, just wait a while for the right day. And as I rise above the tree line and the clouds, I look down hearing the sound of the things you've said today." I think, like I said before, this song is very, very inspirational, and the motivation that I get, the motivation that I hope and I'm sure that you guys get as well, listening to the song, listening to the lyrics, we don't all have to climb a hill the same way. We don't all have to overcome obstacles the same way. We'll find our own way to do it. You're going to have a different path than I'm going to have. You're going to have a different journey that I'm going to have. But the point is, we climb the hill. We get up the hill. We run up that hill. And the ending of that line, "I look down hearing the sound of the things you've said today." You're going to have naysayers. You're going to have people that are going to put you down. You're going to have people saying stuff to you today. The point is, tomorrow, you're looking down at them, repeating the same things that they've said. That's awesome. Or, yeah, it's my channel. I can choose more than one favorite lyric if I want. My other favorite lyrics are from Echoes, like I said. Yeah, I'm cheating. They say, "And no one showed us to the land, and no one knows the wheres or whys, but something stirs and something tries and starts to climb towards the light." No one knows exactly where life came from, how life came to be, but something inside of us, something deep inside of us, something that's unfathomable, something that's intangible and invisible, brings us together, brings us to the light. What is that light? I think the light is each other. I think the light is you. I think hopefully the whole light is me. I think the light is in humanity and in people. My favorite moment, I'm going to put my headphones on so I can find the favorite moment. So my favorite moment in this album is what I call the return to Earth. Like I mentioned, this is in the ambient section of Echoes, but as it turns, like I said before, from dissonance into melody, when the main rhythm begins to just creep in. That's what I love. I'm only going to play a little bit of it because the buildup is really like 4 or 5 minutes to what I'm really talking about. But the start of it, that's all I'm going to play. That's all I'm going to play. You can't even hear it because it's such a unique buildup, the way that it's done. But from that point onwards, just listen to how they bring it up. It's magical. And then eventually the guitar returns, the vocals come in, the band comes back in. But even though they're repeating the same melody and rhythm as they've done before, something's different, something's changed. What transpired in that middle section? It's going to be different for you. It's going to be different for me. But something changes. Finally, we get to the part that you're probably all waiting for, my song rankings. This was actually pretty easy to do, to be honest. This was one of the easier ones. It helps that there's only 6 songs. My favorite song is Echoes. I'm sure you guys guessed that. My second favorite song is One of These Days. Those two songs, perfect. Like I said, One of These Days kind of perfectly leads into A Pillow of Winds, so I kind of put those two together as kind of inseparable. After that is Saint Tropez, a song that I won't necessarily listen to a lot of, but I definitely enjoy when I do. And rounding out the bottom are Fearless and Seamus. Fearless, like I said, for me, I just find it a little bit boring. Seamus is just an unnecessary song. It's just, I don't like it. So as for my final thoughts on the album, it's kind of a lopsided album because Echoes to me really overshadows the rest of the album. I do like a few songs on the first side. I don't find the whole thing as compelling as I would like to, as I've found other albums from Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon and now Animals. As an album, it's kind of like this. If I go to Red Lobster, I want seafood. If I'm going to a steakhouse, I'm not going to order a salad. When I come back and listen to Meddle from Pink Floyd, I'm going for the steak. I'm going to listen to Echoes. I'm going to listen to One of These Days leading into A Pillow of Winds. But then I might want to skip to the main course after that. But regardless, I do think that there's a lot of good ideas in the album. I think that on pretty much most levels they succeed. It's just that it doesn't necessarily all connect to me the same way that it might connect to you. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that you enjoyed this review of Pink Floyd's Meddle. Of course, if you missed them, you can listen to my first listens of every song on the album as well. As you can see, some of my thoughts change. Some things I feel stronger about, some things I don't feel as strong about. That's the whole point of revisiting these albums, for me to listen to them as a whole, complete work, and to really absorb them so I can give you my final thoughts. I hope that you guys are having a fantastic day. Hopefully there's no hurricanes around you like there will be soon around me. You can join me on Twitter. You can join me in the comments down below. Have a wonderful day, guys, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.